Pauline Giles, no stranger to the Cornwall Channel. What does it mean to become the chair of Cornwall Council, no less?
What an honour. What an honour. It really is. You know, this Cornish maid is the chairman of Cornwall Council. You know, where do I go from there?
Well, Pauline for Prime Minister, I don't know. But let's be honest, Pauline, it's been a whirlwind few weeks for you really as well. You've been honoured in the Queen's birthday list. I mean, what's that mean?
That one really shook me, really. You know, I mean, I'm a giver and a doer. And if I see that something needs doing, then I'm going to find a way of doing it. So for me, it's just like normal life. So to get the letter to say that I had a British Empire Medal from the Queen for services to my community, it was just like, blimey, read it, put it down, walked away, come back, read it. Yeah, it's definitely for me. Then I had cried because it was so emotional. And by the time Dave got home, I was dancing around the table saying, look what I've got. Yeah. It was just like that. It was just a whole roller coaster. But, you know, how exciting.
I know, and there's been so much going on. We've had the G7 down here. You're meeting the Queen off the train. You're welcoming the leaders of the world to Cornwall Newquay Airport.
But it was in one day.
Yes.
You know, I got up on the Friday morning. My children were coming home for a week's holiday, and they were coming home on the Saturday. And I said, no, want you home Thursday night, busy day Friday. So off I went now, you know, over there, 7 o'clock in the morning, because I've got all these world leaders coming in. They're circling up over Newquay Airport because they're coming in racked, one after the other. Yes. So 1 minute I'm on this one, seeing Ursula von der Leyen coming off her plane. Next one is President Macron, the visiting people that are supposed to be there to help to see him off his plane. They're stuck in the hangar because the bus hadn't turned up. The boys in their busbies are sort of like marching towards the plane, and there's no dignitaries at the front of the plane to see the guy off. Yeah. And I said to Scott Mann, run. And there's us two pelting across the runway just in time as the Lord Lieutenant gets off the bus, and we all sort of shuffle in a line, and off he comes. And my son said to me, I seen on Sky News that he laughed when you spoke to him. And I said, oh, welcome to Cornwall. I said, I'm sorry about the weather today, but I have booked sunshine tomorrow. And he started laughing. And, you know, that was it. It was the icebreaker, really. Yeah. So,
was you there with pasties or anything like that? Or
no. It was lovely. It was nice to be the other side of it. So, you know, being there with the Coldstream Guards and the Boys and RAF and what have you, just having a chat and a laugh. You know, young boys, very impressionable and very excited, talking about going out for a rattler tonight. And I thought, yeah, this is going to be messy. You know, they've never had rattler before, and most probably tomorrow they're going to regret having it at all.
Absolutely, yeah, it's got a sting in its tail.
But like, you know, Angela Merkel and, you know, they were all coming off the planes, and it's people that you know. But you don't know.
That's right, yeah. You feel like you know them because you see them.
Yeah, so it was interesting. And then the Queen at tea time went home, changed, off out the door again now, and met the Queen.
What did she say to you?
She congratulated me on my honour, which threw me, and I said, thank you very much, welcome to Cornwall. And I was thinking, don't cry. Yeah. Don't cry, because I was so emotional. I manifested meeting that lady.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about, that was my next question. Now, for people watching this back and listening to it back, you're an inspiration because, you know, you're one of those people that, you know, have served their time, you know, and the time is now for you, and you're really reaping that benefit of helping others, paying it forward and all the rest of it. And you've come from humble beginnings, if you don't mind me saying. You know, you're not one of these people that was born with a silver spoon in your mouth and things like that. You stay pretty much local. You haven't moved from where you were born and pretty grew up, really, have you?
Parmaid.
Yeah, Parmaid, now living in St. Blaise. And the law of attraction, that's something we share in common. We have for quite a while. Tell me how that's played a part in your life.
Really, I mean, there's sometimes when you sort of like, you get something in your head that you think is going to happen, and you don't realise that you're manifesting it at the time. Yes. And a classic is 4 years ago, my son being in London on holiday with me, visiting my daughter who lived there. Now, we went down to Tower Bridge, and I took a picture of him leaning over the wall, and I had it sort of photoshopped, so we took all the bits out of the top of it, and I had it blown up 6 foot long to put on his bedroom wall. His office, he now lives in London, his office is right where he stood. If he turned round from the picture, that's his office.
There you are.
You know, and he never wanted to go to London. He said, no, I couldn't live in that. It's too busy. It's, you know. But here he is, and I manifested that, certain of that. So the funeral, the royal funeral, and I said to Dave, I'm so sad that I'll never meet that lady. I really would have loved to meet her in person. And then sort of like G7 comes along, and then it says I've got an email and it says, you're meeting the Queen off the train. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. I mean, we were so excited. I couldn't have had a better thing, really. If they'd said you won £1 million, it wouldn't have topped meeting the Queen. You can't buy that
experience, you can't.
No. I turned round and looked over my shoulder as the train door opened, and she stepped out, and I was just, it was just so emotional. Yeah.
Now I've said that, I wonder if you could meet the Queen for £1 million. I wonder if we could, you know.
Well, manifest that one.
That's the only way I'm going to ever get to meet the Queen. Yeah. So talk about manifest. I can't even say it. Manifest. Oh dear.
Manifestations.
That's the one. Thank you very much. We'll go with your version. So what are you going to do with that word in your role as Chair of Cornwall Council?
I really want to promote Cornwall and the good things that Cornwall does. And I think that we've not been very good at that. And we've had a lot of people that have put Cornwall Council down. And I want to change that in a positive way. So you're looking at the Annika Rice or Arborio Rice, so we were laughing about it, of Cornwall Council for the next few years. I mean, I want to be out, and I'm going to be out with the fire people and the police, and I'm going to be doing a shift in A&E and all the things like with the care homes and everything, so that people understand what their council tax is spent on. Yeah. Because I think that there is this misperception that, you know, we get well paid and don't do nothing for it, and you know, there's dog poo and black bins and potholes, and that's pretty much everything we do, but it's not.
No. Well, let's break that down for a minute, because I wanted to talk about this very thing, because there's always this divide between the people, I'll call myself the people, and the council, and everyone's so quick to moan in the pub at the weekends or in the beer gardens or at home, and what are we paying for? We've just gone over a pothole in the road, and you know, what's the council doing? It's not an easy task to be starting with anyway. No. But if we can just break it down, because you've got some figures there that's publicly available.
Put me specs on.
Let's break it down. So per £100 that we're paying in council tax here in Cornwall, where does it go, the majority?
Well, half of it goes between adult social care and children and families. Half.
Well, there you go.
So that's there's the cut-off. That's the most important thing that we have to think about in Cornwall. So, you know, half of your £100 that you pay is gone on that without even thinking about your dog poo, your potholes and your black bags.
And I'm just going to say on that, because my partner works in social care, looking after adults with learning difficulties, and I can tell you how hard those people work around the clock. And without them, I couldn't do it. No. So someone's going to be paid to do it. So, you know, if my council tax is going to them, fair play, and the same with children. Yeah, and then
£13 goes to housing benefits for people on low incomes. £10 goes on planning and building new affordable homes for local people. £9 collecting rubbish, so it's £9 out of 100. So that's not a lot.
Another thing. Do you know what? I'm grateful as I'm getting older, because I've hit my 40s now. When I put my rubbish out at night, I think, God, I haven't got to do this myself. I just stick it out front of my house and someone comes and picks it up.
Like magic.
Same with the recycling. Yeah. Big on my recycling, by the way.
Recycling is, you know, that's something that we really need to get on top of.
There's bigger bags. I've got 2 bags. I'm having to nick someone else's bag, see?
You need to crush your cans and do all those sort of things.
Yeah, I do. And I fold up the water bottles. Yeah. You know?
But we're not good at it. We don't recycle enough in Cornwall. We still have a lot of people that they're not recycling like they should. So we need to get on top of that, because you know, there's money to be had out of that. We can sell the glass and the tin and things like that, and it goes back into the system. So if it's going to make the council money that's going to help your services, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, sure.
So £6 goes to mending and repairing your roads.
Wow.
£6.
You're not going to get a lot done for £6 either.
No, absolutely not. £4 for running the council and holding elections, and of course we've had a few of them just recently.
Yes.
£3 goes on fire and rescue. It's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
No. £3 helping people keep well and stay healthy. £2 on online services to improve customer access, and £1 to run libraries and maintain trading standards.
Come on.
Yeah, £1. So I think that the council is great value, and we just need to promote that in a better way.
Yeah, and get that message out there. Well, if there's anyone who getting a message out there, I'd have you doing it. Where do you find all the time, Pauline? I mean, you've got so many things going on. You're running the
Blazer Recycle, reuse
sale.
Yeah.
And you're the chair now, and you've got, what else? I mean, where do you find the time?
I think I manage my time well. We were only talking about that earlier, about somebody says to me, oh, I haven't got time for that. Well, you just need to sort of look at what you do in your day. And it's surprising the time that's wasted on the phone, flicking through Facebook to see what everybody else is doing, or playing online games and all that sort of thing. If you took all that back out of your day, it's surprising what you could fit in that's a lot more productive. I mean, I'm on Facebook. Everybody sees me on there, but I don't spend hours and hours on there.
Yeah. Just
have a little flick, put a picture up, have a look, see what you're doing, and then move on and do something else.
Yeah.
And I think that saying that you haven't got enough time is a good time to sit down and have a look at what you're doing with your time, and then wondering if you are being productive.
Well, with that being said, people watching this back, I'm always about looking for the positives, a bit like you, and what we can do to change things. Yes, we can all find negatives out there, but what can we do about it? Any message for people watching now, how they can get involved and help your cause, if you like? How do they follow you for a start?
Well, on Facebook, Pauline Giles. I've got Councillor Pauline Giles page as well. On Twitter, I've got the Cornwall Civic page. So if you want to see as my role as chairman, what I'm doing on Twitter. I mean, I've met the ambassador from Mexico, and there's pictures of me with the Queen and Macron and everybody else. I mean, it just looks like an epic thing to be doing. But it's just good for people to know that Cornwall is being presented in the best possible light. And I think that, that is a big part of the role of being chairman. And G7, well, what's not to like about that? That really has put Cornwall on the world stage.
It really has. I'm watching videos from some of the people I follow online on their YouTube channels from all over the world, and it's got Cornwall in the background because they're talking about the G7 summit. And you think, Brandon, you couldn't buy that kind of PR at all. No,
and one of my friends she said, oh, you're on Sky News. Oh, and again. I'm like, oh, God, what is going on here?
Well, all I'm going to say, on your journey, I'm just glad that I met you long before all this glitz and glamour, because it does kick in. But for a takeaway message for the people watching this, you can achieve and be anything you want if you just put your mind to it. And it's not just thinking, oh, I want this to happen. You've got to take action, like Pauline.
Get out there, do it, live it.
Yeah, you do. It's no good just saying, oh, I want to have a yacht. No, you've got to take action. You've got to do something to earn that yacht. Because that's the other thing, givers gain. You only get back what you give.
Yeah.
Reap what you sow. I'm not a religious man by any stretch, but it's been in the Bible for years. Reap what you sow.
And be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind. And I think that is something that really important. The message that we need to give out at the moment is, there's a lot of people struggling with the transition of COVID, getting back out. If you can be kind to somebody and even just ring somebody or smile at them, it goes a long way for a lot of people.
Well, Pauline, you're an absolute inspiration. I'm a massive fan, as you know. We'll catch up hopefully very, very soon.
Okay.
See you next time.
Bye.